Ever since champagne became synonymous with sparkling wine, the prices have kind of skyrocketed. I'll be honest with you, I don't even keep it stocked at home, but I do love fine bubbles and I drink them regularly. They're just not called champagne, and they're not even from France. So I want to introduce you to one of my favorite non-champagne sparkling wines. It's delicious. It's called Cava. It's kind of like the champagne of Spain, and when you know enough about it, you'll find wines like this one. This cost me about $50 a bottle, and if you were to buy the same equivalent in champagne, it would probably be over $500. Wow. We'll pop this bottle and find out more about it, but first, let's learn a little bit more about Cava. To really fall in love with Cava, you've got to see where it's from.
Cava originated around the village of Sant Sadurní d'Anoia, just southwest of Barcelona.
It's a stunning Mediterranean landscape. Here, the village of Sant Sadurní d'Anoia became famous for its wines starting in the 1700s. By 1872, the Cava winemaking method was officially established. The method creates a sparkling wine through a secondary fermentation, which happens inside the very bottle that you buy. This is actually the secret to Cava's high quality. In fact, it's the same method used in champagne. You might be wondering, what is it about this method that produces such high quality sparkling wine? Well, the first thing is definitely the bubble finesse. Tiny bubbles that feel like a mousse on your palate and linger long after the wine has been opened. This comes from the 5 Earth atmospheres of pressure inside a bottle of Cava. Next, we look for rich aromas of brioche, marzipan, and toasted nuts. The aromas come from extended bottle aging. In sparkling wine, this is called tirage. And finally, there's the overall balance. It's the flavors, tastes, and aromas coming together from the moment you smell the wine till long after you've swallowed. And it takes the work of an expert winemaker who blends different varieties together to create the sparkling base wine. But this isn't champagne, this is Cava. There are some other features that make this wine distinctly Spanish. Cava uses native grapes. At the core of the Cava blend are 3 indigenous Spanish grapes, Macabeo, Parellada, and Charolais. And while other grapes can be used in Cava, the 3 core grapes hold the key to Cava's lean, savory fruit profile. And then there's the region. 95% of Cava comes from the Penedès region, which sits pretty high up. Higher elevations are cooler, and cooler climate makes grapes with higher acidity, which is exactly what we need to make great sparkling wine. I think we're ready to taste some Cava and learn even more about it. When selecting a bottle of Cava, you're going to find several different options and taste profiles, and that's primarily because of the Cava classification system. In Cava, there are 4 tiers of quality levels that you can find. Cava de Guarda is the style that you're going to find most common in the marketplace. Typically, these are brut level wines, meaning they're totally dry, and they don't spend a lot of time on tirage, aging in the bottles. So you won't get a lot of nutty or brioche-like flavors on this wine, but you will get the expression of the fruit from the grapes. You're going to be smelling Macabeo, Parellada, and Charolais, and they smell very citrusy, lean, dry, and almost saline. Cava de Guarda are very refreshing wines and are great palate cleansers with food. Then we jump up a tier to Cava de Guarda Superior. This group has 3 quality levels, and one of them is incredibly rare, and I'm saving that one for the end. The first 2 are Reserva and Gran Reserva, both incredible wines. And that's because they spend a lot more time on tirage. And what do we get with tirage? More nuttiness, brioche, and creaminess on the palate. This wine is a Reserva Rosé. It smells super fruity and has a subtle creamy texture from the tirage. The Gran Reserva is when things really start to get serious. These wines spend an exceptional long period of time on tirage and exude nutty, savory qualities with nuts, brioche, marzipan, all that good tertiary aromas coming through the glass. but you also get a wine that is a single vintage wine, which really reminds me of high quality champagne. This is one of those wines that I would reserve for celebratory situations because it is that fine. Okay, I want to show you something extremely special. This wine right here is very rare, and it represents the fourth tier of Cava de Guarda Superior, the Paraje classification. This not only is a single vintage wine that is aged on terroirs for more than 3 years, it also comes from a single vineyard site. And currently there are only 6 of these in the world. And this is one of them. And because each vineyard site is different, each wine tastes different as well. You can expect these wines to have incredible quality on the same quality tier spectrum as, say, vintage Tête de Cuvée champagne. I thought we would open it up and see how it tastes. Because you made it this far, why not celebrate a little bit with some Paraje Cava? So whenever you open a bottle of sparkling wine, a quick tip. Never remove the cage when you're removing the cork. That is your stopgap for keeping this wine safe and the cork not popping out and taking out someone's eye. You'll just loosen the cage by twisting 6 times on the cage and rotate the bottom of the bottle and hold the wine at a 45-degree angle. The cork and cage will start pushing out against your hand, and all you have to do is push back a little until, boom, it pops out. And look, no explosive bubbles. Another trick that I love to do serving sparkling wine, because sommeliers in restaurants have to pour wine serving straight up and down on the restaurant floor on a table, but you don't have to do this at home. I actually like to use the beer method and pour my wine at a 45-degree angle and hold the glass at an angle too, because we preserve more bubbles in the wine when we do it this way. So give that a try the next time you open a bottle of sparkling wine. This is my first time smelling this wine. It smells rich and creamy like lemon meringue. I get these subtle truffly-like notes to it, like shaved white truffle. It also smells a little bit like vanilla cake, and definitely lots and lots of toasted brioche. Let's give it a taste. To me, this definitely stands up against fine champagne, but it's so uniquely Spanish in the flavor profile. It's just got this really nice, lean, sharp taste profile with a touch of salinity that I find distinctly Spanish and delightfully Cava. As with all sparkling wines, you can definitely try aging this wine if you're interested in starting a cellar. These wines just become more and more nutty and brioche the longer you put them in your cellar. And the color gets more golden as well. I hope you enjoyed this foray into Cava sparkling wines, and it is encouragement for you to go out and try and find a delicious bottle. Until next time, happy tasting. Salut.